We're going shopping today. Today's video is brought to you by the new, really super cool JSUSense Melty connector shirt. You know, paying tribute to one of the best designs that's clearly ever existed. And if you don't like the Vaporwave colors, we've got our OG gray and red colors available now. So get yours by following the link in the description below.
Nice.
Ow, I have a thigh cramp. All right, so we're here at Micro Center in Tustin, our favorite store, obviously, in the entire world. Actually, no, there's 27 favorite stores in the entire world. New one's coming soon. Anyway, I digress. We have stuff that we need, so I asked Micro Center, I'm like, hey, do you mind if we just come shopping? Let's just go do some shopping. Like, for instance, with the AMD stuff coming out, I need some new AM5 boards because I realized pretty much all my boards, except for our test bench, which is a Tai Chi, an X670E Tai Chi, is all ASUS. So with the launch coming up, I want to be able to do some AMD builds. So we're going to shop right now some non-ASUS X670E boards. Obviously, we've got the 9000 series stuff coming up, so we'll be updating BIOS for that. X870E, I do not think is going to be coming out it's delayed past the CPU. So we'll kind of do some investment or investigation too to see what the differences are if you update an older BIOS or an older board to the new CPU, what you miss. But I've also decided that my Workstation, which is my EVGA X1 build, that has the 14900K with the gold like EK block, and it's got the EVGA board and all that sort of stuff. It's taken a lot of wear and tear as I'm using it. So I want that to still be a display piece. So I'm gonna put my 4090 EVGA back in there, and then I'm gonna put it on display with all the other Kingpin cards that I have on display. And I'm gonna build myself a new system for work, which is actually going to be going back to a 7950X. Not a 9000 series CPU, but a 7950X because it's good now. What I mean by that is the fact that most of the bugs and kinks have been worked out. Yeah, there's still a lot of weirdness when it comes to fast memory, but I don't need anything above like 6,000 megahertz or 5,600 megahertz anyway. It's just a workstation that does some light gaming here and there. I don't even produce content on it, so I don't need all that. So I'm gonna go back to AMD. So let me do some board shopping here and I'll show you what I've got and why I chose them. Okay, so when it comes to AMD, you definitely have to understand the chipsets here. So there's B650, B650E, X670, X670E, and then X670X Extreme for some brands, right? So here's what I got. I was gonna do, for my personal work build, I love the look of this. It's got this marble look. This is the X670E Tai Chi Carrera. We've been using the Tai Chi as our test bench mule for years since AM5 came out. Super solid board. So I went, this would be nice because it looks good. I like the way this marbleized look is. I'm putting it in a white build, so I figured this would go really good with that. The downside is, and I don't know if it's because of the fact that it just it's not Intel, and it doesn't use Intel NICs, none of them have 10 gig built in except for one that's here in stock. So this is a 2.5G. Now, I could just get a PCIe 10G NIC, but I kind of want to do a vertical mount. And I want to do the vertical mount with like the Cooler Master vertical thing I showed you guys, which is awesome because of the fact that it allows me to position the card where I want it. And because that uses every expansion slot to mount, I can't then do a 10 gig NIC. And because we work off of our server, when I'm doing thumbnails and I'm working with like Phil on files and uploads and all that stuff, it's all on the server, which for us is 10G. Now the 10G only works when connected to 10G. It's not like I'll get 2.5G connecting to our server because it is a 10G switch, only 10G switch. So if I connect to it, I'll get no connection at all, which sort of sucks. So anyway, I'm gonna put this one back. It's also $600. It's a bit overkill. Not like I saved much money. This is $549. Anyway, this is the Aorus X670E Extreme. So it's the Extreme 670 Extreme. That joke never gets old. I think we all made that joke a million times. Anyway, it says $649. It's $549. It has a built-in 10G NIC. It's also black, unfortunately. It'll still look all right. I just think all white, like iced out builds are awesome. I'll just keep looking. There might be some cool stuff I could use. Okay, so that was for my workstation. This is for stuff for reviews coming up when we're testing the new the new CPUs and stuff. So this is the X670E Steel Legend from ASRock. I like the way it looks. First of all, it's got this kind of an urban camo thing going on. I might still technically just put it in my workstation anyway. No, I can't. It doesn't have the 10G. Damn it. Anyway, moving on. So this is a $299 motherboard. It's a very reasonable priced top-end product for AMD. Anything above like, even $500 motherboards are really hard to justify, even though I just grabbed one. Especially when it comes to like price to performance. Like if your motherboard costs more than your CPU, there's something weird happening there, personally. So it's a $299 top tier motherboard that will be good for testing like the 9900X and the 9950X and whatnot. But we also need the non-extreme So this is the X670 non-E. And what you're really giving up with this, and we've talked about this a million times, is the fact that you're giving up PCIe 5 lanes. So the X670E has a PCIe expansion slot, 16X Gen 5 for like graphics cards or storage NICs, whatever, and an M.2 PCIe Gen 5 direct to the CPU. Whereas as you go down to the X670 here, you get PCIe 5.0 ready for NVMe only. So you can see it even puts it on the box. This only gets you Gen 5 for your storage to your CPU, which is perfectly fine, to be honest, because no graphics cards are Gen 5 yet. Who knows what next gen might bring? So it might be something you want to think about in the future. So that was a $289 board. It's only $10 less than our higher end board. So it's kind of interesting to show how this sort of stacks at a similar price point. And then we got B650. It says $199 on here. It's not, it's $169. And then this drops drops PCIe 5 support altogether. And this is a $169 board. Perfect for testing like when the 9600X and 9700X and all that drop next month. Pricing it with something, or pairing it with something that's much more price reasonable. So those are the boards I chose. I don't need any more Intel boards. I've already bought a couple MSI boards and a Gigabyte board and stuff for Intel stuff in the future. I gotta put this one back, although it's pretty, I could get it, but. So they filled in all the dead space from the deep pool fiasco. And then I saw this. I'm not gonna get it, but it's like, so it's Asus ProArt Liquid Cooler 420. And I'm like, really? It's a 420 AIO, but it's super sleek. Look at this, no RGB, just super clean. It's a 420, I think it's the only 420 they have here. How much is it anyway? 270 bucks? Oh man, screw you Asus for making me mad at you. Maybe someday, but this would have been, this for like an ultra clean aesthetic build. Man, if you can get past the price anyway. I think I should pick up some air coolers. I definitely am lacking air cool content. Don't know much about the Noctua. I didn't know Noctua had some drama. Something about rattles in the package or things that get damaged in shipping. I don't know what they're talking about. Okay, so I have the D15, the big boy, like up there, the Chromax, the big round one, but I'm gonna get the slim version because I have no idea what's different about it. I think it'd be cool to do some air cool tests with that. I can clearly see we've got, what, 6 heat pipes, and then the UH12 slim for smaller builds that don't need nearly as much TDP. And then Noctua doesn't rate their stuff in normal TDP, like they have their own rating, so I can't even look at the box and tell you exactly how that translates. They have this whole webpage about it. And then I think we should probably grab one of the legendary Hyper 212s, although they've updated these quite a bit over the years, because this is still like the industry standard when it comes to like inexpensive cooling. You're not gonna be able to overclock and stuff with it, but it's sure as hell better than any box cooler you'd get. So we'll grab these 3 coolers to add to our shelves so that we can start including some more of this type of stuff. I actually didn't expect to see this here. I was thinking I was gonna have to order it. So this is, I did the whole video about the Cooler Master Vertical Graphics Master Card Holder Master Kit V3 Master, where these are fully adjustable. So you can adjust in, out, and then like slide it left and right. So I have a black one, but I need a white one because that's what I said, I wanted to use this thing to be able to do a vertical mount for a GPU in this build, and I can't do that and have the 10G NIC there, which is why I didn't go with the marble cool looking board. So I'm gonna grab this one in white for that build I'm gonna do this week. So that'll be nice to have. It's funny, I came down this aisle to just sort of peruse what weird stuff they have. And this is where you can get like the streamers. Like Phil's like all about this. Like Phil loves the streamers with all the lights and stuff everywhere. I don't think you put these in your build yet, did you? Oh, you did? Okay, cool. So there we go. They're not just sitting around doing nothing on the shelf now. Let's talk monitors. This has been a struggle for me. You guys know, actually, Micro Center sponsored it. The C8 Flex 48-inch TV that I'm using as a gaming panel has G-Sync. It's like some 0.3 millisecond response time. It's insanely good for gaming. But one thing I have noticed while I'm gaming on it, especially in a title like Rocket League, which is the only place I personally notice it, it has a slight amount of input lag. I can't explain it, and I'm not the only one talking about this. So it's really started to become bothersome with the amount of input lag that it has. It might only be a frame or two, but it's enough in a title like Rocket League, which I play a lot. So I'm gonna probably go back, well, I am going back now to an ultra wide panel. Now let's just cover up the Alienware, because essentially it's a Samsung panel. It's just Samsung is the ODM when it comes to the panel specs. Everything else about it, the mount and all that stuff, is Alienware. But Phil has been drooling over this panel forever, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, even from those people that hate Alienware. In fact, even Pablo, who's walking around with us, who works here at the store, has one and says he really likes it. So you don't have to love or hate Alienware to enjoy the panel. I mean, you can just put tape over the sticker if the name, if it really bothers you, but I'm gonna try it. So here it is right here. Because one of the things I'm doing later is I'm redoing my gaming room at home to kind of reconfigure it to make it more of a useful flex space rather than just being a PC space. And I'm thinking about doing 2 of these, where I'm thinking about doing one normal and then one actually vertical for chat and all the streaming stuff when I do my Twitch streams. But I feel a little dirty right now because I haven't used Alienware products in forever. In fact, the last time I interacted with Alienware, they sent us a laptop that I didn't feel had the value there, so I ended up sending it back. So this will be interesting to see because everyone's just raving about this panel. It is black, right? Okay, cool. So I looked at the Samsung one. There's a Samsung version of this. For whatever reason, it's $300 more. So we're going with the Alienware one because it's the same panel itself. All right, I better put this down below before I drop it. So the cool thing about Micro Center 2 is they have all these like game pads and controllers. I actually have these. I bought these off Amazon, yet they have them in store. I got this like 2 years ago. This is when we were doing like a bunch of like our, what was the flight sim we were doing?
DCS.
DCS, yes. So these are for the, like when I was doing all the Warhawk stuff, I was like, I want actual screens to push, and I got them, but I never set them up because we kind of stopped playing for a while. Anyway, as you can see, they get all this stuff. Obviously they have controllers. So this is the Thrustmaster eSwap, which allows the, as you can see, the sticks to be able to come out and you can replace them if they start to go bad or whatever. I think somehow mine's broken. And I say that because the right stick, when I'm playing Rocket League, the view will just be like, woo, and I start to imagine it's like doing weird stuff. I'm like, that's weird. I'll wiggle the stick and it'll stop. If I swap the sticks, you would think if it was a bad stick, the left side, which would be the movement of the car, would start doing that. No, it continues to do the view swap, like the view thing where it's moving all around weird, which is the right stick. I go in and adjust the dead zone as big as I can make it, it still does it. So I'm starting to think something's up with the controller. Fortunately, they sell them here. So now I can, $130 later, get to at least see whether or not there's a problem with my controller. But I'm gonna buy this with my own money. I'm not gonna have Micro Center sponsor this because this is weird, I guess. I don't know. All right, so there you go. Just a vlog of us kind of walking around the store. I had to come down here and I had to get some stuff. Like, the nice thing about our relationship with Micro Center is the fact that it adds a layer between us and brands, which makes it easier to trust us when we're talking about stuff, because if, whether or not we tell you brands don't control what we say, and they don't, knowing that we did not get it direct from a brand helps with that. So we try and get as much stuff as we can non-direct. That way you guys can trust the information. That's where our relationship with Micro Center really comes in. That's why we walked around and grabbed this stuff that we needed for our future reviews, so that we can make sure that we get what we need. Also too, it's nice to just be able to drive down here, not even an hour drive, and we get to hang out in the air conditioning and look at all the parts and stuff. Who wouldn't want this? So don't forget, Micro Center does currently have 27 stores, with more on the way. Miami, we're looking at you. And if you guys live near one, it's definitely tech heaven. If you don't live near one, actually, I didn't even know this till recently, Micro Center does have they call it their 28th store. That is their Amazon store, where they have a lot of the inland product and a lot of their bundles and stuff that you can actually buy on Amazon if you don't live near a store, but you can still take advantage of a lot of those deals and stuff. So check that out. That's something I didn't even know existed until now. They call it their 28th store, but it's worth looking at. And it's the only place through Micro Center you can buy CPUs and bundles and stuff online. Otherwise, all these deals and stuff are in-store only. So there you go, guys. Thanks to Micro Center for sponsoring today's video, allowing us to sort of supermarket sweep. Maybe next time we'll have to put a timer on this. Be like, Jay, you got 7 minutes to get whatever it is you need. And if it's behind a locked case, sorry, we don't know where the key is. I don't know. So maybe we can do something fun like that in the future. But all right, guys, thanks for watching. Links down below to the stuff that we got. And go and check out one of their stores. It's worth even like taking a drive to and making a nice weekend or something out of it. I promise. There's probably something nearby. The person that doesn't want to go with you is like, I don't want to go look at computer stuff. You can find something nearby that they can do while you go and do all the fun stuff. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.